Hey guys, do you remember episode 46 when I reviewed some dollar store markers you can't get anymore? We got more. Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Draw with Tea. I don't know if I can really count this as a Draw with Tea episode, so I'm not drawing in it, but I counted the last review of markers as a Draw with Tea episode, so I'm going to include this one as one, just because I feel like you guys want a little bit of a conclusion. This is kind of like the sequel, and who doesn't like sequels to stories? Alright, so first of all, I just want to give a big shout out thanks to my number one fan, Daughter. I believe that is the name he likes to go by. D''Otter. Thank you very much. If not for him, I wouldn't have had these. He was kind enough to buy these markers at his local dollar store and send them my way, which is really, really cool because we're kind of on opposite ends of the same country here, and that's cool. This is also really cool because thanks to Daughter, I think I'm actually making some new material on the front of these markers. Not that anybody really cares about these anymore because you can't get them, but the only information that anybody had is that you could get these markers in Dollarama, and now we can obviously conclude that Dollarama probably just bought generic markers from a factory and just had them slap their packaging on it. So these markers exist out there in various forms. We can now say that. Hopefully anybody interested in the history or learning a bit more of these markers finds this video because blammo, now they can know. Not that they probably ever will, because even finding like the original markers in review form was very, very hard to do. Here you can see that this one is your dollar store with more. So now the markers at Dollarama were being sold for $3.50, and that was before tax, I believe. This is being sold for $3, so you can actually get them for cheaper. 50 cents an alcohol marker is a steal of a deal. So now in this video, I want to basically compare these to the original ones. Unfortunately, I threw out the packaging, so I can't have them both in packaging. I can't review the packaging. However, I did take a look at the video of these guys, and the packaging's basically the same. It's like a little insert that you can stick in, and here we have Selectum, which is an odd name. I've heard of Selectrum. I can't remember what Selectrum does at this moment, but I haven't opened these markers, and I haven't done anything with them. So, let's see how this goes. I do just want to say, leading up to this, that Daughter sent these a little bit ago, and he sent them during a very vicious cold spell that was kind of happening in Canada. The Maritimes were hit bad, and my end was hit bad, and I believe his end was also not experiencing some good weather. So these were transported through, I kid you not, -40 at certain points. So hopefully they're okay. Let's compare them to the markers. Like, I think I spotted some differences here. First of all, let's just compare like the Ganky marker. So for those of you who don't remember, or maybe you do, this is the marker that came cracked, and I managed to rehydrate it and taped it up. I imagine it's probably kind of dry by now, but I think I can rehydrate it. We'll see. It's also, this part of this review is also seeing how this thing stands up. So yes, I was right. So from just looking at the packaging quickly, I spotted a difference between these markers, and I'm just gonna prepare my focus so that we can read. So this one here on your left, is the Dollarama. Here you see it says blue/gray, and then it's got French underneath. And on the right, we have BG5 blue-gray. So obviously they have some kind of numbering system. Now I imagine this numbering system actually means basically nothing, and they're just trying to compete with the other brands, or they're trying to appear like they're on par with other brands, because I don't think these people actually make enough markers to actually justify any sort of numbering, let alone a numbering system like here, RP17. That sounds an awful lot like some kind of number that Copic or Ohuhu would use. Here again on the left we have the Dollarama version, which is rose pastel pink, which again, I discovered that it's kind of a mix of French and English right here. On the right here, it says pastel pink, so I'm pretty sure this one's meant to say pastel pink, pastel peach, and pastel peach. Excellent, excellent. Of course, we got warm gray and warm gray. Of course, we're going to have burnt sienna and burnt sienna. The only differences I can really see, Dollarama ones have some indication of fine and broad, which is helpful, but if you look closely, you can see that the fine one has a little extra band there that the broad tip doesn't have, and these selectums are the same way. Even though they have no indication, they've got that little band on one end and a broad on the other. And let's just test, is this going to be, this is the banded end, so this should be the fine end, and voila! It is! Paint on them is really crap, and there's no indication otherwise, but you can, you know, see the indication if you're observant enough, which, let's be honest, none of us are when we're in the middle of making art with markers and we're just rushing and grabbing. And the best markers I find are the ones that have some kind of tactile feel element that tells me which end I'm working with, which is kind of what that band is supposed to be, something that you can kind of feel, but there's not really... So there may be a little bit of a feel, but not really much. And frankly, with dollar store markers, I don't really expect anything like that. So let's swatch the selectums. So let's lay down some burnt sienna. Just gonna do a one layer and then a double layer. And this is on typical Bristol paper. And just because I had a cracked marker, I'm gonna make sure I open up all of the ends. Now we're going to go on to warm gray, if I remember correctly. Warm gray was an absolute lie. Oh, you know, feels like legitimate warm gray, actually. Ooh, that's really, really light. For some reason, I don't remember the other one being really light. Quality control on these is perhaps not the greatest, but I wouldn't really expect much from these, to be honest. Oh, yeah. So we had this problem with the other marker too, where the cap comes off, but at least this marker isn't split. Perhaps I can super glue that in. Oh, that's very neon. I have a feeling I'm gonna lay down the colors. Let's just try that again. Yeah, so that's gonna be a reoccurring problem with that one, but at least it keeps the marker end. At least it keeps the marker moist, shall we say? Okay, so there is a quality control problem with these markers. I'm not surprised, considering they're from a dollar store. I didn't see anybody in the reviews having these issues, though, but considering this is the second set that I've had issues with, I think it's safe to say that it's a thing. Also, it's nice to have this color and not have it all ganky like this. I'm very happy. Thank you, daughter. I think I really like this set for this marker. This gray is also very nice, but I do love my blues, and this is a very nice blue. I think I can find some use for that. So these are our swatches. Let's just check with the cap. So that's decently accurate. That's decently accurate. Yeah, that's acceptable. It's a little more yellow. I'm looking at these, and none of these are an obvious lie, shall we say. And I'm pretty sure if you go see the old review, some of them are quite a lie, especially this one. I'm excited to compare these now. This, I think, is the worst liar here, and I don't even think that's that bad. I'm going to match these markers to this. So again, we have our sienna, our warm, our skin, our bronze, green, our pink, and our blue. So let's see how these stand up. Yeah, okay. Those two are similar. This should be the liar. Yes. Okay. Blammo. Tips. Tips are the same color, but this one is very warm and this one is very cold. That's interesting. Now the peach. Oh, okay, yeah, this is different. I don't know. This is a color I could use a little bit more than this one, but honestly, having these both is kind of good. You can kind of blend them between it. Bronze green, pretty much the same there. Okay, pink. Ah, look at that. I've opened it enough. It actually likes to open. Yeah. Oh my goodness, guys. Look at that difference. Wow. Okay. I would describe neither of these as pastel pink. This one is like a neon light rose, and this one is more just straight up rose. No wonder I got confused by the naming conventions. And the moment of truth, I'm not even sure if this guy's going to work. Ah ho ho! Oh my goodness, guys, and look, it's not even that bad. Oh, okay. If you guys want a trick on how to rehydrate markers, go check out the review of these markers that I did, because it worked, and I'm actually surprised at the longevity of it. Now I'm looking at them, and this one feels a little more blue, and I'm not entirely sure if that's just in line with these ones being different. or if that has something to do with the way I rehydrated it. We've got a little, maybe a little difference here. I wouldn't even really consider it. These are just different colors. This is basically like a brown, and I actually keep this marker with my browns. In fact, these two I keep in the same colors. I separate my markers by like roughly what colors they are, and those two both exist in the same brown batch. This one I remember being very on par with some other peaches I had, whether it was the Copic peach or the Prisma peach. This is a very different color. This is a much more yellow, lighter skin tone, which is interesting. This is maybe a tad lighter, but again, that's kind of inconsequential. It's kind of like this. These, I don't know, this is a neon. You're probably not getting the sense it's a neon, but it's neon. And then this is just a typical nice, nice pink that you might use on rose petals or something like that. These are supposed to be blue-gray. They're definitely blue, and they're kind of grayish, so I'll give it that. Now, just for funsies, let's just try something here. So I've confirmed that the other ones are alcohol markers because they work with the alcohol ones. What I'm doing here is I'm using the two peaches from the two sets to kind of create a blending. Yeah, that works. So my final thoughts here. If you happen to find this kind of marker and you want to get into alcohol markers, you just like them, I say get them. I mean, you're not really going to find any brand of alcohol marker for as cheap as this, at least not if you're in Canada, just because of how our dollar is and shipping things in. We don't really get those sick deals that Americans get. So, for 50 cents a marker, Canadian, it's a really good deal. Even if the quality control isn't that great, these lay down good. I have used these in a few tiny things. I haven't done much marker art, but they function like normal markers. I have no complaints with them. They're markers. They're alcohol markers. There's nothing funny about them other than like the quality control is obviously crap here. So what your actual colors are going to be, we don't know. I imagine that the factory that makes these just dumps the ink in at random per batch, so the batches are obviously different. If this establishes anything, I don't know if these colors are stable or if it literally varies. But yeah, that's that. So if you see these in any of their shapes and form, buy them. It's probably also good to support your local dollar store now, because it seems like to be the place where you're going to get them. I don't know what company is making these and making them available, but yeah, they're a good purchase. So yeah, thanks again to Daughter for sending these. I now have more markers, and even though they're technically the same set, I have somehow gained more shades and more colors. But I will now have to actually add some of these new markers to my swatch chart. Anyways, guys, that's it from me. If you like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you'd like to see more of this, let me know, because I've actually got some other markers I could review. I got some Ohuhus and some blue touch news for Christmas, which I'll review if people want me to. If not, then I probably won't. See you guys in the next episode.